we a story be about Barcelona camp. On say recently, Barcelona for results na enkoyi. Losing against PSG with UEFA Champions League. Oko Ramon Sanchez P1. Ese koko lusu against Sevilla. And it is a which results are na enkoyi nansi. Ana news be a free Barcelona camp abia player we player we ko national team due to epra. And the news a free Barcelona camp oba no. Eya na nye news a de bebre. Lewandowski bi aba amu aba beka. Killing me say oye or stories here na me monitor Barcelona. The reason why I now hear Rafinha de no. You say Rafinha de no. A setback no asenya. E woni injury no. Na Barcelona for hope say at least enya hwe kra na nkometima rest ya managina against Girona, against Olympiacos, but against Real Madrid e wo classico nim no. Ankometima 100% fit. No ababa besi akande ama Barcelona. But the recovery session no an okunya wasa okunya setback. Which is a bad news for Barcelona. Because every coach, every football club here empire boni say injuries e wo football. Name say injuries never do so bebra e affect team ni play, e affect team ni results, e affect team ni system. And it's a we check the current Barcelona injury list no. Now we check players on mepra. So far Barcelona for the first choice goalkeeper. We pra Barcelona defensively enye the best. By goalkeeper ne by one Garcia by no. Obe showcasing me wiase nyina hu say se wo beat Barcelona defensive line in pokra na oye goalkeeper dem o Barcelona for no arehyiemu say obetima save oye out. Barcelona mfimfin ho players ni bi eprepra na baby ama Barcelona for ni esu kese kra na eyo manim ho. Let's not forget number 10s mienu no Dani Olmo out. After Femi Lopez every injury ever. Mo hope so obetima gaining the fitness. Lamine Yamal after no free injury ba oye forward line player. Rafinha setback aba Ferran Torres ekopraye yesu obetima ya available so obetima piki edru ne pick no question I was yebusa ye ho Lewandowski akwa kopra ana Rafinha de so setback aba enti baby ama Barcelona ayi hu kese dia mom no the forward line department enti se me Barcelona fana Rafinha setback no na me hwe the injury list na enim ho no it seems say otutu ani akwa ye Marcus Rashford. And the reason why Rashford numbers I was thrown, I say majority of players, say Barcelona players na 100% fitter. Definitely on the right side, Ebe Lamine Yamal, left side and Ebe Rafinha. But because of series of injuries, and also I make room for Rashford say also better my perform by Rafinha. A plan de ken setback no. Because season is too young. I share Barcelona injury list na do so do. And me feel for Hansi Flick, to be honest. Back in one shot the so I see you so hard you.
Some of the season one is Tatiana.
In a season
or no last season, say at this stage, no the best player we are saying.
Rafinha. Yeah.
And or between that time Dembele in prime.
Yeah.
Back in
Dembele
no come. But one thing is say oka se season no ye nyanduru ebi ehia pa na otina ho na wo lose na ma do di twim. Na baby said that time I'll be picking. Na baby said man you more competing no matter how.
Say the answer sana madrin me because Rafinha last season as at this stage no the best player. Jude Bellingham 2 seasons ago no be a man. But Kofobi the last 2 matches be there. Everybody been winning in 2 train.
But are we
on train so
are we talking about individual and as a club? Say Barcelona for because say a team never call anymore. And what's the one all the big guys
and what the run system is over qualified. That time
yeah. Also we know players.
The Kwame person actually say from February to the end of the season, opa sheni na. Na se season yeah starts no one start here for so be no ebeba so. But what I say, if you start losing your point today, now kwaya there from February to the end of the season for so be no so. Two best watches say Champions League in the draw.
La Liga ya fanje ballon.
The next Champions League against Olympiacos. Now Barcelona could drop points.
Can person watches even without Rafinha no they can qualify. But you know
Now Dembele asat last this are not ball, na ball go.
Oh, now on Saddam. Dembele Lancaster started ball from the 15th of December.
And then on the best player we have. And Tibabi here no. Timon transfer.
No, but honestly, I think say you should be much concerned per we Barcelona fan, we Hansi Flicker.
Players, I make us Semenyo. Players. And yeah, that's a players no players across, especially top players. Injuries say ne baby any year kakra bi anko the ball last season I really wa. Omo.
World Cup.
Omo. This almost say we fully fit. And so na wa ba body ama wo. Enti ebesi bebre ebesi bebre obati yes player we or cover 1 week, we cover 2 weeks. We more about but we want to panic some farmer.
They and you panic some they say there. Because the ideal thing is that normal season players and you be one panic. Or you okay? One you season no pre-season ni mo no not the agenda home they are recover. But this time around you season na World Cup any niema hyehyehye ho.
And then you is here. Sir, Inaka training is here. Inaka training is here. Say first person can go for a Casapa.
And your mum. Salami ya maidi.
Maybe not Lami so yet. Inaki, training is here. But when Tina my boy too much. But say because no Kakrebi bar, I saw him on
Oh, but honestly, football is prioritizing the World Cup.
Yes,
but you see, there can be conversation on the same. From the club's perspective, Hansi Flick or Jamie team Neho. And to be very honest, injuries now piling up for Barcelona and I know you. Robert Lewandowski, Dani Olmo, Rafinha, Gavi, Juan Garcia, Ferran Torres, Lamine Yamal, and Femi Lopez. That's like 8 players. And as they say, Lamine Abba. And as they say, Mom say Ferran Torres, Roberto, and Femi Lopez Abba. In some moment, my yes, say Lewandowski, Rafinha, Gavi, Juan Garcia. That's like 5 players ending your mind. I'll be last season, but what Girona game. It's clearly, it will affect the team. Na me kura na sam no kwame aka Rafinha sam. Robert Lewandowski situation, I am ya. Lewandowski, there 1 year ni. Senior injuries ni piling up no. Eya kwayam to say, enu nti na Barcelona for dream you say bia, boy no omuntwa so. Okay. Lewandowski. Ne papa obo judo. Ne mame obo volley. Ne sister obo volley. Ne yere enso so ya athlete. Ne yere crowd na saying or social nutritionist. Into no ne body no with all due respect. First thing they be a make Lewandowski as someone. Baby I went through with 37 years. Some of the Lewandowski picture to television also. Now we share the body no. First what the man said, why very disciplined with his body. And yet 37-year-old the Biana or body beat to say Lewandowski Diano. It takes a lot of discipline to play at the highest level at age 37. And yeah, easy. I was so that. I was so rested. With Jim Kakra, a Janibo or windy. It's any place in an it's me, yes, sir. It is all people at the highest level as age 37. Be able to much respect to him before you talk about other stuff. And nothing up to now. One player I will always respect is Thiago Silva. They say 41 so gusobo. All free Chelsea names are about 38 years. Oba Chelsea for nipa dodo na about 80% ka say ontimi mo Chelsea. Not just because our son. No mo say nimpom no wago. But discipline. And they didn't do this level. Shadow Ronaldo it takes a lot to get there. But once Lewandowski try permission an interview now, or the Polish national team was say, I am for the age na judge no feels and when only for or ye interview no way or tester was answer. Clearly, he also he's working very, very hard to say still an obey relevance Europe. Onye na dreams of Saudi Arabia, or so twice more born with Europe. But truth be told, Oko Poland national team. First game, boy, a friendly game against New Zealand. Because they want to protect him. And Oko Lithuania game or share goal. And ye game also. Or Philippines, ne biceps, okay? Ne sre on left, ne sre and a move reno. And doctors of one, so let's go and check because I heard here. Either say biceps nanka say any issue, and now so say a bit very hamstring. I'm going to check here. A serious injury. When inform me Barcelona for no. Possibly be a bare 1 month to be. He's going out. I told Ferran Torres now so. Ferran Torres so pray. Now say umwana abakakra. E umwana so or they manage the ball no. It looks like Barcelona front train there. Obia say a coin will be a party man a Marcus Rashford. And nothing I may say he needs to take advantage of the situation because I know where you pra no akwasha or chana where you pra no akwasha. It looks like no. This time he's getting more games. He needs to amass the numbers because clearly if Rafinha, if Lewandowski, if Lamine Yamal a fit no contest. It's me feeling for Hansi Flick. He needs to manage the situation. A prano doso dodo. Say what breaking news for Barcelona or Barcelona fan or show. Say hey, and me call for one back with Bra. Ken Antoine Semenyo now saying positive news na eba and me tell story no. Na say Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal. And I serious about Antoine Semenyo. Manchester United, omo boni din ebeta Semenyo wa. Omo say for Manchester United, a coach ne penasem. Omo bo Liverpool, omo say Richard Hughes enim no. Of course, Richard Hughes no oye adwuma de mo bomb of on a sporting director edema Liverpool se ya. Inti open obi onim Antoine Semenyo a Richard Hughes. Now what you what about Arsenal? Okay, Arsenal almost say almost sporting director Andrew Better and a penasem. It's again 3 big clubs 2 sporting directors and a pair Antoine Semenyo back your coach, which is Manchester United. Now, it's in common with the clubs are looking at ways possibly on Antoine Semenyo, and that is what clubs do. And almost say, boy, they extend their contracts, let them bomb off no. Almost the release clause a shame. It's a possibility be or you don't need to negotiate with bomb off. Just go and pay the money and you are good to go. No question me woman say. Who follow football? You can't release clause or no context. And my dear no cry for. Who Spainer? So obe kuta release clause now open one. Just go and pay the money and you are good to go. Back in. The reality pa me come no credit at chamo say. England release clauses now what's at argument. English clubs. So what is so the release clause as will be contract more. And yes Spain the any bia wo call ya which is card at one now go. England clubs meaning what is wrong with them. And it looks like MC clubs no win in ISA. First of all, release clause. Okwa Spainer, Obieni, a known knowledge. Who can play away? Who born the release clause? I shall Obiaya away. England plays release clause over this year. Someone can't show that to say a May Antoine Semenyo the number. Bomb of forces, someone can't the clubs, no. Because clubs now inquiry. On someone who say release clause be or saying bomb of see or can because they want to keep the boy. But truth be told. Contracts now between Antoine Semenyo and the Bournemouth. It's a Bournemouth so on can. Semenyo ni. It's the easiest way they say Semenyo person call Liverpool. Semenyo can easily tell Liverpool say, "Me and me sign a contract release clause no. 70, 80, obetinya can figure na dey actually Liverpool. Then Liverpool will go to Bournemouth and pay the money." And so but I mean try window for us so nchiro. Sadly way. Michael Olise to Chelsea. Crystal Palace release clause at 35. It's a for no question 35. Crystal Palace enya no cre. Then Yahu say Chelsea for Eddie Sikako for Michael Olise. Crystal Palace for Munji Sikano. Then Michael Olise becomes a player for Chelsea. And a Crystal Palace for threatening Chelsea say Man tappy boy. A dynamo who say release clause or no. A 35 million.
Yes, sir. The year to say a 75 I won't confirm. Say 100 million for Semenyo. Say a bar on tennis a figure the correct. I just say team beer one if a Semenyo didn't come Biano. Bomb of waiting I can say
what happened?
What happened?
Exactly.
Because your money Semenyo pay
any.
And again, Semenyo so one already.
Oh, that's agency so signing. It's agency away. Exactly. And no na mean say clubs na say.
Only kiswa club ni na baba be time Semenyo.
And no near some no.
Bomb of one be time.
Because you clubs no. Yeah, wouldn't the release clause now the second the same amount to qua. Or say what type of player no because yeah club the young can't show. How did you know? It's in the Chelsea's case. Almost threatening Chelsea, some of the Chelsea be CAS, any FIFA, and the Chelsea see ye castle. And we ideal, no. But more recent example. Okay, Morgan Gibbs White. Not some was a player, no. Or Tottenham area, no. Or the release clause no cost 60 million. And I'm not now for said Derby. We are then a who says 60 million a shame, man tapping. And a Spainer is Obianca tapping as some woo. Into some no problem. Release clause there, I did it. And the whole name club na a bed taking decisions or per Semenyo no. I was very clean because who leave it trace say ampa one boy na kasa we inform say release clause the X amount with yati. Because truth be told, Ken Richard Hughes in the own name Semenyo in and out. Liverpool team no. Baby a Semenyo ko. Now benye ni mujidie na boy na bobo na aye Liverpool. Left what the kwan mu ada Luis Diaz efri ho no. Sese akaka Kodi Gapo. Ena ebia Ngomoha. Ena ebia Federico Chiesa to some extent. Yeah, Semenyo chechre di obebo abodi ye. Of course. Well, let's say Salah what the more plan if in the future they want to go and take Michael Olise. What you say? It's left what the Kenya bad. Back in kids baby. Share France for one. Almost so the si Kamavinga. And nature menu still through Kamavinga no. Titi a break kakra. Boy no. Ken, I am sure so ono kra will admit to say. Send you see pen and remade no onya ne sa. And you know forms because even last year alone, we checked the number of injuries a boy in. In fact, I may say about 37 games, club and country, via injury. Ken, and you know forms let me explain this. Ken, 2019, Madrid full framing round of 16th against Ajax. Don't make sure 4-1. 2020 against Manchester City. 2 seasons consecutive round of 16th. Madrid realized they needed to make changes in their midfield. Not because Casemiro, Cruz, Modric, no matter, but bench, the influence from the bench, never from. Na Isco, Bono, a city Asiba, na Kadani Sibayo Simo. One of those reasons was to bring on board Tchouaméni to take over Casemiro in the future. Tchouaméni situation, on the 80 million, a coffin, no bonuses, 100 million, all banner pressure from Monaco. Obaye, the ideal plan is a Casemiro bubble 1 year. Na Tchouaméni understand, no we take it over. Obaye na Tchouaméni, sorry, Casemiro had to go to Manchester United. Into one understudy and you throw no say uncobo. What I say? Into pressure ban so until Jabi Alonso beya after the year say befa. Kamavinga dear no. He's supposed to understudy Luka Modric in Toni Kroos mo. Obo understudy ni mono. And Carlo Ancelotti no come left back because of the issues they've had. Yeah. Ideally, minim pass in KSSL last season and will take it off. And injuries be affected. They became. Come, that guy is just 22 years. If I'm right, next November, or 23. Also, oh, there be munya which there be any day me no be anyadre. Okay. Boy, only born bo. Na say I pray say injury and sansu maybe. Or beba boni with time. I would say.
Biggie found the other toss on me na yembra.
One thing I've realized about football is time, any patience with proper planning, able to make any form of success and official their bro. yɛwɔ hanom na yɛkɔnya akoro bi a yɛfrɛ no sɛ Comoros sɛ Comoros ɔbɛ qualify bɛbɔ African Cup of Nations kora na yɛ problem ɔmmɛn ho mpo na nkampɛ so ɔbaaba bɛbɔ bi but they decided sɛ ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo football ne nyini sɛ bɔɔl ne bɛnyini a den na ɔmo bɛyɛ kwan bɛn na ɔmo bɛfa so a bɔɔl ne bɛnyini ɛna ɔmo contacte a former Comorian footballer a wabaaba bɛyɛ coach Ahmed Abdul ɛna ɔmo de Comoros team ne maa no sɛ ɔngyina ɔncoach na ɔmmoa ɔmo na ɔmo ntumi qualify nkɔ African Cup of Nations nkaka ɔfrɛfrɛ players of Comorian descent a ɔmo wɔ ama no ne ɛna ɔkeka ɔmo bom ken he was appointed in 2014 ɔfa team na ɔyɛ ne nkaka no in 2019 qualified the board African Cup of Nations first time no ɔmo mbɔ bi da the first time na ɔmo bi da ɔba tournament ne mo mbɔ the performance net saying to them it was an okay performance, it was a good one because tournament a ɔmo bi da na wanya akwanya baba be wura mu de ade a ɔhwehwɛ ampo ni sɛ bi anka group stages bi no wa free no ɔkɔ ne baby but at least obehia giants wo group ni mu a Ghana for instance otimi share Ghana Ghana film on qualify for the next round of the competition enti modern mon aburu so bebre e dia ma omo de e kire me ene say ebre na omunyama papa no it doesn't mean that wanye mistakes, it doesn't mean that there weren't times and man konkan am farmer no but yet they stood behind him and my qualification and no nsaka today where friend say Cabo Verde a qualify our no so called World Cup for the first time. The same time, patience and a proper planning at the Omoko. Omo appointed Omo coach as is your handle team the Bobista in 2020 January and Omo appointed no. He's also a former player for Cape Verde national team. And Omo friend papa and say, after the Omo Bobby, it was a plan, it was a target. Omo qualify Baba Bobby. Since you Omo person Omo qualify Omo call World Cup. Wabo national team ni bida. Dia no betimi aye de aboa Omo. Omo nyuma no be konkan no matimi qualify for World Cup no. And also okay. And ye kwan say ni e be fa. So for now, that kind of quality na e be boa ma yakọ animu no. E din si e be nya bi wa. It we are going to look for players ah. Omo sa moja ni bi. No ma baba be si akan di amaye. Omo hwehwe ya to the extent say he got on the internet. Omo player baako, Pico Lopez. Or sending a message on LinkedIn. It was in Portuguese. Message in a call, you know. People read the message on Tiasia because on a brofo no kaken, you won Ireland. Or see afraid you feel sad and campo a scam. Into a hurry on do closing no penny bed tonight. Wahana who crampo and him you. Letter officially, and almost sending a letter in English. And I feel what Tiasia no decided to be Baba Bisiakino at their mom. Within that period, you know, they had that kind of time. Any patience behind the coach, Bobista. Sa omo nkaka no munko. Along the line, a brand idea bebemu, injuries by. There is one player, Stopira, can or retire from the national team last year, June, and will join national team in the ball. Say see our nearly 37 years, on to me see a kind of national team in into a quack of penny baby at and one general. This year, yeah, in September, there are a lot of players on our prepare. If you are here other players, they spoke to the players, say, Omra back, Omra me quickly, and G2, and science buy. The last game they played against Eswatini, on the share last goal, which is the third goal, and the Cabo Verdean national team. It with time, any patience, any proper planning. A DB officer watch you as to be able to achieve. And it is one thing, a lot of the elite teams, any countries, and this time, they have to learn from that. And many baby no more future football no more so. One or two bad results about pet na ye pamu coach quickly. But football no, and this a magic. Na coach any buy na no hitting the ground running derby. Obe here time no dia to turn near man san wa ye juma. These two countries aye. Other countries na kakra bi aye pamu coach no munso bibi mfamfrim. So we nya bre na o plan year. Ade bi a wo pese won saka wo football mu bia no. On sabetimi aka. Congratulations to Cape Verde. They deserve it, Ken, because they have worked for it. On my back, also World Cup no one qualify, but I feel sending modern mocking as so many pa. Niger no Morocco group anymore. Zambia Zambia coach any Van Grant. It is a per country in that group. Maybe I'll be you so never qualify for the World Cup. I am sure say Edio Biabo in Morocco. But we in Morocco we now you be say Corona Akano. Why na who feel say obetimi a qualifier? And I say we obey the second spotter. I am sure say Nanko Biabeka Zambia. Yeka Zambia, if 2012 football African Cup of Nations, they have become a force at the point Omo call from yes. But it doesn't take away that kind of quality Omo possess. Any ball I am Omo ball. Especially when they got a Ram Grant. Any ball can the last African Cup of Nations on the ball, you know. A man for shall say so much as trust the woman. But Niger team, no, Ekova Zaki Berdu, and then by as the coach. So I'm not Boamo, I will qualify it anymore. Papa Jumana Aye, only 15 points in that group, only the second. And the kind of projects Nigerians also started again. A Jumana Comoros Moye, dear Kevard Moye. And Eric Verde qualify Eco World Cup no, and no been a Niger so watch us here. Zaki Berdu so make sure say obey sported talent. Ah, omo betimi abo, omo ya eligible so omo si akan de man Niger. No mama ba be si akan de amomo. As we speak, omo national team nikita about 4 Ghanaian descent. Ah, omo si akan de amomo. Omo last game omo ball qualifying round. Omo ko share Zambia 1-0. Oh, Zambia home. Player o share goal Daniel Sosa, a Ghanaian boy. And at the si akan de man Niger. Omo na Jibi Yakubu enso so wo mo team ni who is a Ghanaian wadi nkai si akama under 17 and under 20 wo Ghana ati it is our project na countries be here no munya results no Zaki Berdu so ahase oye bi manager and he deserves that kind of mention. I am sure say or building upon kakana wa ahase oye no na oto aso with this ebia na mre bi be ba ye be bo World Cup qualifier said ye Kevard mo kona ye di omo ho nkomo no na ye ba benya Niger on to betimi akwa pim at the world stage ken. Nigeria say one qualifier and World Cup. They shouldn't blame anybody. I almost kasa nepe. And abanesa.
Nigeria.
Yes. Look at the kind of quality players in Nigeria kita. Mijitu say football no and just strikers and kwani the ball. That is for a fact. But at dear back then, a boa Barcelona yeah Barca under Pep Guardiola pa was the kind of attack, especially Lionel Messi and Barcelona war. So that time, Gerard Piqué, Nicolas Puyol, bad, they were very good. And you goalkeeper Verde. But that triangular defense, we know me and Rubedi dance here. Say you're so strong, sir. Individually, Debbie. But collectively as a unit, none of them kind of man. But our Lionel Messi didn't move on more. So we consider 4 goals, sir. Lionel Messi in Kwame to me as 5 when you want more winning. Into the attack, no. I am play a key role in team BA performance. Who Victor Semenyo, quality striker by all standards. Nancy Adams' performance order in the Dima Sevilla. Super striker, and so with all this quality. Now, coach, I'm not coaching Nigeria and finding qualifying for World Cup. Okofa Eric Shelley. And then the buy. The performance was Malik Ramponet saying. Now, we're entrusted with the Nigerian national team Super Eagles. So no name na just because coach Biaba umunya time on famano problem ke tuari I solvable kwampa no magina so na kono mapa no because in telephone feels so money to me and omo dey picky coaches and the fire coaches it's Nigeria decision to sack Geno Raw na okoye no ono na oni Benin e baba bebo ye Benin national team coach and that makes the game very interesting because Benin to in a World Cup now obeko
abewie enra. Now group D ne be no. Verde for a top pace our group no with 23 points. Then Cameroon in 19 points, Libya for 16 points, and Angola in 12 points. Okay. At the time our group no answer draw ne ba bonteno. Me you pretty sure say oka che nipa dodo na say ye bobo group ni na ewie wo group D no. Why na obetimi a top group no edi first a. Me you sure say nipa dodo na no ebetimi yi Cameroon national team no. Bayenra Verde for ameki sa history no. Onim say omotwe Cameroon move 4 points. We are talking about Cameroon national team eba World Cup omabo mo homodem pa. By Verde for move 4 points. Ama Verde for ameki history for themselves. Any country they say for the first time ometimi qualify e dey go FIFA World Cup. Ken ade ba ko to dey be a World Cup e ya na countries ne nia bebre. Timamufo ne nia bebre so mpese omo country ne ko World Cup no. E ya sa o country ko World Cup. Benefit e ya country ni nya no. Esumebri. Mekaye pass Ghana. Your first time I qualified for World Cup, that was in 2006. Ghana qualify and a kid. Eba Ghana, no be a kasafa Ghana. Obi wo home pokra because of World Cup, and no team a crew to say Ghana. And Ghana qualify World Cup, no kid. Yenye a lot of foreigners, Emma Mubel Kruma say, Ombe Kruma say no. Ombe na baby ada. Ombe twebiane, ombe faka. Foreigners no, ebwa my economy ni pijai after see you qualify for your first World Cup. You qualify you know. Ona momonten so a unhu MPP ni, unhu NDC ni. World Cup na Ghana you qualify for the first time. Edi nkabo mu, edi ball mine. Edi enije edi ball mine. Enti country be qualify for World Cup for the first time again. Eya na benefit as our country ni nya no. Eya na esu bebre. And so we take Comoros a World Cup you ma qualify no. Say for baby a and obi a CAF because CAF a qualify for my first World Cup. So we take CAF as a country a nipa do sign a wo based on numbers our population 590,000 and a wo CAF say even Kumasi for crowd also say CAF kro ni nyina. Enti eye kro kitua bi and no qualify for my first World Cup. From anyone no qualify be seen no. Internet no so obi a search CAF. In central for big media stations in obi a CAF once. Enti abema CAF as a country abaye popular. After some qualify for my first World Cup. Enti obi o ho a onim CAF until CAF dinda. But I say CAF that qualify for my first World for the first time no. Or betina si aba be search. Omo ye hwan mu. Die mpokra no omo ye wo ho. Enu ko CAF sesi a adeɛ baako ebu o economy nipa no ɛyɛ tourism. Enti obi o ho a onim CAF because of World Cup, because of football no was set CAF wo hu sɛ ɛhɔ no tourism no wɔ soro. Enti obetime book flight akɔ CAF okokrom ho a odiska na ɛkɔ hɔ. Enti World Cup baako a CAF for a qualify no obi ɛka ho asɛm. Ekuro na country na bɛyɛ popular. Ebe generate a lot of income ɛde ama country no. Enti World Cup de kid sɛ wo kuro qualify bia ɛyɛ na feeling ni yɛ different. And if it is a CAF for Enya independence in 1975, abro mo ti omo ho afri air Portugal ho no. Metima catch us say adekese ba ko esi krom opa no. Eye World Cup no mo qualify. Ade na CAF for nim say eye adekese pa ye say 1975 from be gain independence from Portugal. We independence if you are World Cup you ma qualify the kid. Eye adekese e de ma CAF as a country because ade o man down some ho da ye da no. Because first no CAF no more a part of Portugal. So from 1930 World Cup, ABC 1974, no more part of FIFA. And I said no more a part of Portugal. And it's no almost buy from 1978 ever 1982 World Cup it was Spain. Now affiliated to FIFA and no one to me and qualify. But we getting independence no or try some bit to qualify for the World Cup and in Nyamen Chadi or make me qualify. Obibebu say the secret of CAF or football net to say. Ken, na me ye reading bi na me hwe mo video bi. Na o reading na akwa ekira eye nyoma mienu ana amene CAF that team qualify for the World Cup. The first thing we decide is on be say on be develop a local talents no. Omo ti krom ho no, on be chance develop omo. No ma sa akwa omachi, akwa amanone. Akwa ye recruitment. Omo nchi every CAF. It is what a CAF for players now. Bebre na no wabo Portugal under 17, under 19, under 20. Enti omo bring it local talents no. Na omo say recruitment outside omo nchi. Esusu every CAF no. Ano ma beka omo ho ediabom. Enti so what a CAF da omo share sa project we say in 2010. Kenonim said the last 4 AFCONs omo to me qualify no. Akobi no the last 2. And I said 2 emu mienu. Omo kodu quarter final. Even recent AFCON ebo wa Ivory Coast no. South Africa na yi omo efri mu. Enti omo your mind back gradually omo develop your football and many aje e ama a country to say CAF say for the first time omo timi qualify na dia back akin US o CAF de be kono beautiful ladies okop tournament a CAF na beautiful ladies de omo tie de ba enti CAF ye be hwe omo first time e World Cup na me aduma 2026 e US Mexico and Canada. Big ups to CAF omo football in the federation nyina. And that's also witness another history bet we be bring say because o checking Nigeria so helped Tenefi against Benin, South Africa so helped Tenefi against Rwanda. by March attention ebe koso kese pa no eye Nigeria ana Benin game no keno nim say Nigeria omo neighboring countries no Benin ka ho bi on the east side ehona na Benin wo Benin ni Nigeria de omo bo hye omo ni mo ho ye ana tension kakra edo omo mu enti apart from football na nkasa no that political tension kakra na ewo Benin Nigeria mu no ebe sama game ni ma hiti peyi by ken yemfa bibia nto nchen ene Nigeria obeti say Ademola Lookman entimi nsi aka because of a suspension accumulated yellow cards Ola Aina ewo injury we players impokron be out of this game impokre free wa Nigeria wo enough quality say on any day I was so mutimi gina Benin enim no mutimi she Benin say Nigeria ye ka player for player Africa say omukura bi from Victor Osimhen Samuel Chukwueze indeed Dialesi wo bi Basimu o dey compare Benin players na emutwe at the same time Nigeria force our good record against Benin. It is a what check from 1977 ebesina Nigeria and Benin abo 19 times. 19 times a Nigeria and Benin abono. Nigeria win mu 14. Benin win mu 2 and mu miensa abo draw. And in terms of individual materials, Nigeria was so same Benin. Eba records Nigeria was so same Benin. Bible sound say e di nti na Benin fo no wogidie say and no betima kwa Nigeria. Again, so far qualifies in Benin, enya more points. Esen team friend say Nigeria. The answer is simple. Nigeria will individual names, by a back collective play now, and a back team. Almost see a kind of commitment was Ropana a Benin national team. And the idea in Benin, Emma Mujidi so betima question Nigeria no. That collective play no mobi. Esen team friend say Nigeria. And that commitment level no players ni see a kind on person muku hono by a bar records a bad individual brilliance Nigeria for the Osro South Africa for the so be renew mu game no mabo empire say Nigeria bet match Benin for so de omoda go de ehia so bet me win game we se Benin win say kukuro another history esi e Africa entene e ba ko witness sa game no ken